welcome back to our stream with El Nino. Today is Friday, November 21st, 2025. I'm Sweets. This is El Nino, and welcome back. Um, I've been here plugged in at Dev Connect, so I don't really know where I want to start. So if it's okay, I'm going to toss it over to you and hear if you can guide us in any direction that's helpful for your album.
Yeah, let's do it. So last we left off, I had a change of heart for a pre-release thing. So because the album isn't releasing just yet, I was thinking about doing something pre-release, something interactive, something dynamic, something that could tell the story a bit more about the album using what we've kind of already integrated onto the site. So I had this idea of it's essentially like an NFT. It's interactive. It kind of shows the process media, it tells the story of the album. It shows, the artwork, the music, clips, videos. There's videos of me kind of giving anecdotes, and it's all packaged within that single NFT. I wanted to do something simple. I wanted to do something that, again, kind of pre-release before the album comes out, just because I pushed it back a little bit to get some things together. And I wanted to use the tech that we already have kind of integrated onto the site. So last we were talking about using Stripe to collect the album, kind of direct to fan support using Stripe, credit card, and then we would airdrop into the wallets the music. And so I wanted to do something prior to that, and that's where I came up with this idea, and that's kind of what we've been jamming on. And you open the Telegram to kind of share some a kind of a faster way, I guess, to flow and share the ideas. And that's kind of where we left off. So I already minted that NFT. I created it. I minted it. It's on the same contract. And it's all about right now bringing it to life on the site. And then we went ahead, and also the flow is that once you collect it, it redirects you to the inventory page. And in the inventory page, you'll have more like exclusive type of access content. You can interact with the NFT and actually play with it a bit more. But you could also go on OpenSea or Manifold, and you'll see it like displayed on there if someone's interested in doing that. So that's where we're at. I think it's about kind of bringing it to life on the site, and then going from there in terms of updating the inventory page. That's what I want to say we're at.
Has it already been updated on the main site, or that's something that's in our hands right now, is updating the token?
Yeah, exactly. That would be the remaining step, I want to say right now, or like the priority step is to bring it live on the site so I can go ahead and share it, tell the story, see if we can drive people to collect and explore it, check it out. But most of it is kind of like the inventory page is looking right. It's like, so at least once people collect and it redirects, they'll have access to that part of the site.
And we're already doing that redirect, or is that also something that needs to be implemented?
So the redirect is implemented. So all we need to do is have bring the NFT, the token on the site, and it should technically, after collect, redirect. So that should be good. And
Right.
it's currently gated, right? So if you're on the Maravilloso City site and you go into inventory, it tells you to connect your wallet to access it. So that part is also good too.
Yeah, if you're signed out, it's not going to let you view anything, or if you're signed in and you don't own. We want it to be gated by ownership of what's about to be listed on the homepage.
Exactly.
Is that page always going to be gated based off of whatever's listed on the homepage, or is the current token the key regardless of what's being displayed on the homepage?
Yeah, I think it's that the new token, this new mint is a thing that gives you access to that. And I think it's an interesting way to kind of build towards the release,
So your vision is, even after we change the homepage Center Planet release, even in the future, the key is still the drop that will no longer be listed on the homepage.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So because we originally had the ability to collect the album in the homepage, rather than this for now, we could potentially bring back the ability to collect the album once it's live. So it's, I don't know, it's, let's say the date of, then the Center Planet becomes the Stripe checkout. Essentially, we could also do that.
Okay. For now, we want it just to be the new token that's on the homepage to be the key.
Exactly. That's the key, the access key. Yeah.
And you said on the inventory page, it's already where you want it to be?
Yeah, pretty much, because once I go on there, let's see. think I should have access. Yeah, so right now, like the redirect to the inventory page, there's a music player. You'll have the NFT. Then it has the collect album option, but it's set to coming soon, so it's disabled because the album isn't available just yet. And then there's the Maravilla on Zora coin. So as people collect, I'm also gonna airdrop like coins to them from that Zora profile specifically. So I wanted it on the inventory page, and then we would just have to add the actual the token so that it reflects on the inventory page. Right now, it's a placeholder.
And that's just because we don't have the token yet.
Right, exactly. I already minted it to the contract. I shared the token ID, all that stuff, but it would be about updating that placeholder to the actual media.
Copy. Okay, so the main changes that are needed on the tech side is just changing the center planet to the token that you shared in the Telegram chat. And other than that, on the tech side, everything is in a good place for now. No other changes needed.
Yeah, it would be just reflecting that NFT on the inventory page, wherever we decide to grab that from. I'm sure we could embed that from maybe OpenSea.
Okay, so updating the center planet so that you buy the token, and then on the inventory page, making sure that people can verify that they do own that
right
collectible. Okay.
Yeah, and because it's an interactive NFT from that page, they could also kind of play with it if they'd like on mobile and on the browser. And I started playing around with that on my side just through Manifold to make sure it was like working and all that. So it's looking good.
And it works on your mobile phone too with the interactivity that you were trying. Manifold.
Yeah.
Cool. Then we will do both of those changes coming in the next week. What other things do you want to talk about on the tech side, or if not, how the album more, or what else on your list? I don't think we've talked in a month. So are there other things on your list that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, I think on the tech side, it would be those updates. For the album release, I'm coming out with a new single pretty soon. So like in a week or two, it's going to be like the last single of the year. My goal is to put that out, tell the story of that one. It's a great song, so I'm excited about it. It's cool because it's like it has that reggaeton flow, but it's more electronic. It kind of has a bit of like hyper pop and like Jersey bounce kind of mixed in. It's like I blended a lot of genres on it, so I'm excited to share that one. And then I'm hoping that to start the year, I can put out a few more and then go straight into the full album drop release, and get that out there. So yeah, that's where I'm at music wise, album wise, and then the Maravilla City, the updates that I'm looking forward to, just so I can share this one. I'm excited about this NFT just because like it's interactive, it's dynamic. I've been wanting to do something like that. It's kind of telling the story, sharing the process, the media, and kind of letting people play with it a bit more, right? So it's not static, it's not just audio, it's not just an image. So I'm excited to share that one. I've been wanting to do something like it, and like I felt like it was the best time to do it, kind of going into the album and making it a part of the rollout.
How were you able to make it interactive? Was it a special programming language you had to vibe code, or was it how did you build something that was interactive like that?
Yeah, so I vibe coded with Juno, which is a tool that Transient Labs launched a couple months ago. And they kind of let you vibe code, like it's like they'll let you vibe code or they'll let you remix people's templates and things like that, kind of like vibe coding where you can find templates and kind of like do your own thing to it. I found one that was interesting. It was literally what I was looking for, and then I was able to just go in, add media, make some changes, make it a bit more manageable for people to use and explore. And it's something I've been wanting to do, so like through vibe coding it was a breeze for me, right? So I had a lot of fun with it. And again, because I can like dynamically update it, Manifold lets you update metadata, lets you update the media. If I want to add more pieces to it and kind of retain what's already there and just adding to it, I can easily do that with the Juno tool, vibe coding it, and then going ahead and updating the media on Manifold. So it became like a little easier for me to do that without having to start everything from scratch and saying, hey, Sweetman, like I want to create an interactive NFT and it has to be dynamic. And then so now I can just say, hey, like I want to integrate this into the site because we have the manifold contract already integrated. I shared the token ID, and then we have the crossmint for credit card option on there. So I thought it was a good way to go into it. So yeah, it's another part of the album rollout going into next year.
Does using Juno force you to publish on Transient Labs, or are you able to use the tool without publishing on Transient?
Yeah, that I thought that was super interesting. It would have been cool to do that, but because we already have integrations and stuff, I was like, let me keep things simple. But I think it's cool that they're letting you do that. You can download the file as you'd like, HTML or whatever other format, and then you don't have to publish with them, unless you're already a big part of that community. You can just go ahead and do it. So I think that's pretty cool that they have it open like that.
Is that what you did? You created in Juno and then you exported HTML, loaded that HTML into Manifold?
Yep. It was as simple as that. And then all the media is original to my works and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
It's been fun seeing a lot of the musicians and artists around here have been doing much more of their own coding. Whereas a year ago, I was working directly with Neutro to build out their site. Yeah. Now I'm listening to more and more musicians and artists here talking about, I built this, I vibe coded it. A lot of them are using Google's AI Studio, because you go into Google AI Studio and it has a chat. It has an image generator with Nano Banana, and it has a build tab where you can build and deploy websites. So, and it's like, everybody has told me that it's an unlimited free tier. I have a feeling it's not unlimited. Maybe it is, but nobody here is paying for it. And they all get a vibe coding tool to build their own websites. They get an image generator and editor that allows them to generate and edit their own images, and full AI, just like ChatGPT. No credit card needed. No need to pay for an account. Accessible for anybody across Latin America. And so now has an idea. It's not, I have an idea. Then I get on a call with Sweetman, and then Sweetman pushes back and we end up not building it. And then after 3 or 4 ideas, it actually gets put through. And then Sweetman justifies it a month later and actually builds it. And then I have feedback, and then we repeat that whole cycle. Now it's Lucas has an idea. Lucas goes to AI Studio. Lucas builds it. Lucas deploys it. It matches his vision exactly. There's no pushback from a dev in the middle. It gets built on his timeline. And one of the things that he told me is the fact that I can do this has helped me to see so much more of, like, I had these ideas that I thought were going to be revolutionary. And now that I can build them, I realize that it's just a landing page. And like, it is way less profound than I thought it was. But now he can iterate on that on his own. And like before, it was like he would tell that to me and I would have that. I'd be like, this fucking landing page, but I'm not going to tell this guy it's a landing page, because in his, he feels so emotionally connected to it. He feels like this is the best thing ever. The last thing I want to do is extinct there. And now the fact that he doesn't need me in the middle, he can go through the full iteration process on his own. No credit card required, like no list, no need to talk to a dev. And that, I think, is a very liberating force for artists globally.
Yeah, 100% agree. From your perspective, which hurdles or challenges do you think artists are going to kind of run into, especially when it comes to like more integration, smart contract stuff? Like, do you find that to be a potential hurdle? At least from my perspective, that's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm asking you if you've seen that, or if you think that's kind of like, hey, you should consider someone, depending on the scope, right, of the thing they're trying to do.
The hurdles I see them facing right now are figuring out how to buy and connect a domain. That seems like a thing where they have to leave the vibe coding tool, figure out where they're going to buy it, figure out what DNS is, how do they connect the domain. That's a one-time thing, and once you figure it out, you're good and you can do it moving forward. The next one is hosting. Google does have in their AI Studio a deploy button, but it seems like the artists I'm talking to download the code, and they've chosen Netlify for some reason. I think they had an option between Vercel and Netlify, and for some reason they picked Netlify. And so there's like a little hurdle with the Google AI Studio of downloading the code and then uploading it to Netlify. For example, Sulkian, an artist, really cracked artist here from Argentina. He was just talking to me yesterday, and he's like, I changed my Twitter profile. Do you know how I would change this in the code? I was like, yeah, just open up the code. So he opened it up in VS Code. I do a global search for x.com. He found the line where it had his name. He changed that line, and then when he re-uploaded it to Netlify, like the styling broke on the whole page. And so there was a little bit of a hurdle of him needing. So I don't know how it built or what I did wrong, but it like broke his page in the tiny change that I had him do. And then the final one, Sulkian is hitting this barrier right now. Exactly what you said of the wallet interactions. How do I
Yeah.
sign a transaction? How do I connect to a wallet? How do I? That seems like something that artists don't feel comfortable with, or
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys have tried doing that. Have you tried building in wallet interactions? Is it something you've actively tried and have hit barriers on, or is it something that you think about in your mind and there's just mental friction for you to even try the prompt?
I want to say both. I've tried and I always run into like a stop of like, wait, what am I actually doing? Or like pulling the contracts from Open Zeppelin or, I don't know, Third Web or something like that. And like kind of doing that stuff is kind of holding me back a little bit from trying different things, at least using crypto rails, to be honest. But like I go in and they make it sound so simple, like use the SDK, and it probably is for a dev that has even a year or two of like fundamentals down, right? But for me, non-technical, I'm like, damn, that's the thing that's holding me back. That's the thing I should start working on actively, because everything else, prompting and design and UI and stuff like that, like you can figure it out, in my opinion, a bit easier. So I'm actively thinking about that, just like a little crash course to see what I can and can't do, right? Especially if it's a little complicated, like for example, attempting to raise funds, but you want to do it in the right way. You want, the best smart contract for that, right? And um, where's it gonna send to, the wallet that it's sending to? If you want to send it to a treasury, a multi-sig or something like that for extra security, um, just little things like that. I don't know. I keep thinking about that.
I'd be interested uh, to do that either on this album and start to hand it over to you, and like
Yeah.
for these changes, getting on a live stream with you and having you vibe code these changes, or continuing on this album with me fully in the dev, and then next album either me laying down the foundation and handing it over to you, or from square one and me updating and you communicating, having it
Yeah.
be more of like you saying like, these are the things that I changed. This is, I don't, and we spend these 30-minute blocks of like anything where you hit the limit of, I just help prompt over your shoulder specific docs to pass to the LLM over your shoulder, and then you do the full thing, so that like the same thing to liberate you to not have to. I communicate to Sweetman's working on in process for a month. Like a month later, he actually implements the change and allow you to have more full freedom and ownership of the end-to-end experience.
Yeah, yeah, it could be sick. Yeah, I like that. Especially because I feel like some changes have been minimal, and I'm like, I don't want to bother you with that, right? Because it's something that like I've done before that I can quickly update, like if it's an image or text or like these little things that I don't want you to spend time on that. But yeah, for those more what I think are a bit more complicated, like that could be interesting. And it may not even have to be for this specific project or album. Like you said, it could be for the next one, or it could be for something like even simpler, cleaner, like on the back end type stuff, where it's just like the wallet, the mint, or the whatever the that exchange is. That could be interesting too. Implementing the smart contract and like just those things like that could be a cool way to do it. I think we went down here, but no worries.
Did I lose X? Looks like I got back, but he might have bounced. Asking him if he left. This might be the wrap-up point. I'll give it another 2 minutes. It's a very exciting time to be an artist right now, to be able to have all these tools at your disposal and to not have to rely on a dev and to not have to even learn how to code and to just be able to talk your ideas into a system like Google's AI Studio. And whether it's creating an image, building a website, talking through your strategy, you don't need to sell your rights to a record label. You don't need to hire a dev and pay a dev thousands of dollars. You just have to be able to formulate your ideas and take them from your brain into whatever language you speak, whether it's English or Spanish or any language globally at this point, and be able to bring your ideas to life. I think we were wrapping up. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No. Let's wrap it up. My stream crashed on me. I don't know. The internet's acting up.
My internet was acting up.
Yeah, we covered some stuff after a month. So we'll stay in contact and excited for those updates so I can put this out into the world.
With that, thank you all for tuning in. We